Yo guys, what you doing? Hope you are all well and very far away from the troubles that the world loves to throw at us. Today I have kind of a special episode talking about a game introduced to me by a streamer that got me hard. I kinda 100% got addicted to it, almost. At first, when I saw the game, my mind started being haunted by one question. What the hell is Genshin Impact? So this is what I'm going to be talking about today, Genshin Impact. Let's get started with a brief, detailed, and complex exposition of the narrative. The story is amazing. It has dragons, gods, twins, text, story. I can't believe I witnessed such great Shakespearean level of amazingness. Yeah, that's a word now.
Really? Damn, that sounds awesome.
Nah, not really. While the story won't win the prize for greatness and won't become a monument of "I want more" in the minds of fans, it's not bad either. It kinda borrows elements from other stories and some animes. Basically, you and your sister/brother get separated while world hopping. Well, forcibly separated by an angry god. But that is part of the cuisine for this type of games, and in the hope you can be reunited with your sister, you travel the world, talk and meet with people, kill monsters, solve problems, forget that you have a sibling, talk to gods,
I said the exact same thing last time.
and open chests. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad at all, but it's something we come across plenty of times before. I would say that it's average towards good. Well, if the story didn't grab my attention, the lore certainly did. The world has quite a history, and if you take your time to read the books that you come across your journey, your fantasy hunger will be satiated for a while. The quests themselves are nothing amazing. Go from point A to point B, do a dungeon, and that's about it. They can be repetitive, but I never got bored or tired to do them. And some have some cute plots to them, like a thief that steals artifacts and you chase him down, which leads to a very funny conversation between Amber and the thief.
Amber! Over there!
If you insist on chasing me, so be it. Huh? Who brought the little girl?
You must be Raptor! You can't escape!
I don't need to escape. There's no way you can make it over here.
Oh, it is pretty high. And quite far.
Oh, little girl, why don't you run along home now and let your leader deal with this? Don't worry, I promise that once the Grandmaster gets here, I'll surrender immediately.
Hey, watch it! You're talking to a Knights of Favonius outrider! You'll be sorry when I arrest you!
Every character's story arc is more of a self-contained story in itself. While it can happily exist in the world, and it doesn't impact the overarching plot of the game. It is structured in such a way that it reminds me of those old shows that contain villain of the week flavor. Well, in this case, hero of the week. The side quests are kinda generic for the most part. Go there, see that, kill that, the end. It has some cool exceptions to this equation, but for the most part they are just a mean to make us go out in the world and wash our eyes in the beauty of this world. While I wasn't impressed with the story in any kind of way, that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. Quite the contrary, I found myself smiling quite often at the interaction between the characters. It has a beautiful weaving of ideas imbibed in a nice sauce of a simplistic complexity. The gameplay is guilty of giving me the feeling of "yeah, I love it." It's the best part of the game by far. Let me dissect it why. The combat is fluid fun, and it's up to you if it's challenging or easy. The great cast of characters allows you to be extremely flexible in combat and can create all sorts of combinations. While at first it looked simple enough to understand, it evolved into a complex stat feast where you can do all sorts of builds. The fault of complexity comes from the abundance of skills, items, characters, and combinations you can pull off. You can combine fire attacks with ice, water, lightning, wind, etc. If you can get your opponent wet, you can freeze it with a nice attack. It's freaking awesome. To be honest, I was kinda overwhelmed in the face of such a plentitude of choices, and it was the good kind of overwhelmed. Another thing that overwhelmed me with the positive thoughts of hell yeah, this is washing my brain in stats and progression, is the progression itself. The characters can level up, the items can level up, your account can level up, your brain will level up with serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins to degrees of unknown happiness and feelings of oh my god, I can't believe how rewarding the progression of power in the game is. Awesome! One of the strongest points of the game is exploration. There is so much going on, and wherever you go you can find little secrets here and there, puzzles, fights, rewards, and beautiful scenery. The exploration is amazing and always, and I mean always, rewarding. And there are so many hidden things all over the place. The way you traverse the world actually accentuates the pleasures you have while chasing your own thoughts across the huge world map. You can glide, climb, run, freeze water to create a solid surface to slide your own way into the heart of the puzzle, and so on and on. On top of this, you have oculi to find, which are scattered and hidden from view all over the map, and these are actually important to collect because they will increase your stamina, which is one of the most important stats to have plenty of in this game. There is even a chase the ghost and get the chest sort of mini game inside the game. Like I said earlier, exploration is one of the strongest points of the game. It offered me plenty of fun. And on top of that we have different challenges scattered across the world, like glide and hope you make it in time, smack the monster and get the barter, shoot the barrels, and so on and on. It's a real pleasure to simply walk around and taking in the sights. The world is absolutely gorgeous and the vistas are amazing. Just take a few seconds and see for yourself my favorite spots that let me gaze into the distant beauty of the world. The towns are beautiful and a ton of fun to explore. They contain all kind of merchants and crafters and hidden chests to be found. I was really impressed with the architecture of Leeway. It is such a beautiful place. I found myself often just walking around taking in the sights, so to speak. The game even has a day and night cycle and a weather system. Some quests are actually gated by the in-game time, which personally I found to be quite cool and a nice change of pace. It has quite a diverse range of enemies to fight, and they have different mechanics to them, from your basic "I hit you with a club" type of enemy to bosses that are a real treat to defeat. And the design that they bring to the table is quite cool and impressive visually. Just look at this wolf boss. Nice. Another aspect that I liked is that all items actually have a use. That tier 1 trash bow that you'll never equip will go towards progressing another weapon. I really enjoyed this aspect. So no matter what kind of loot I got, I knew that it was useful in some kind of way. The star of the show is the power given to the player to experiment with the different systems created by the developers. I really like tweaking my ideas into reality and see my build gaining life in the context of the game. I am so glad that I watched a random streamer on Twitch and introduced me to this game that I never heard about. A sincere thank you. Seriously now, I don't even remember when I was so excited after trying a new game, and that game stuck with me for so long. The characters are beautiful. They are animated to a master degree, and all of them have unique animations and feel to them. There is none that I come across and could say that it felt the same as another character, and I love them all. I didn't even find one that annoyed me.
What? No way.
Yeah, you're right. While I love the characters, there is one that I would more hug her with tender arms around her neck, and that is Paimon. She annoyed me so much, but don't get me wrong, I think she's really great, despite me being annoyed with her. The voice actors for her did a 10 out of 10 job of creating the character and giving it life. For me, she's the character that I love to hate, but thought she was awesome. I know, I'm an open book of contradictions, but this just creates more fun to life. Oh, and she is cute!
Paimon thinks that's a lovely sign.
There are like 24 characters and range from archers and mages to carriers of weapons of destructions like two-handed clubs and claymores. Some of them are cute like Amber, Shaling, Barbara, Razor. Some are hot, like Niwang. Oh yeah. Kaya. And some just exist, like Bennett. Ah, poor Bennett. You really cannot go wrong with any characters you get. They'll have something to like about them in some way or form, so don't be afraid to experiment around. The game is gorgeous. It's a beautiful pastel that inscribed in my eyes a beautiful world full of colors and adventures, and wherever I go, that beauty is carried within my eyes all the time. Like seriously, the graphics are pretty awesome, and I can't fault them in any kind of way. From looks to artistic direction, everything is smooth and looks nice. The voice acting in the game carried a beautiful tune to my ears. I played the game in English and all characters had a certain beautiful melody associated to their voice. I can say with confidence that all the voice actors were invested and did their best for this project, so I want to congratulate them on their performance. Of course, there are exceptions of not so stellar performance, but even with those, what I said earlier still holds true.
Congratulations!
The soundtracks bring such a beautiful melody that makes the tunes accompanying it create an incredible atmosphere. Taking a walk at night, being in the shadow of the moon, my feet in the tall grass, and that beautiful piano in the background enchanting my ears created some really standout moments for me. The sound effects are more than decent. They do a great job of reinforcing the idea that we are actually fighting those fantastical creatures, monsters, and gods. So, what about the downsides of the game? Well, you know, the game kinda comes at the price of free. Yeah, at the perfect asking price. I know, for those that don't know about the game, you are probably scratching your head and just put this question in your head. WTF? I know, because I did the same. I scoured high and low, left and right, and rode the winds in hope I can come across the controversy that will make this game stink of don't touch it. And let me tell you, dear watcher, I didn't find any. While it has monetization in the form of a gacha system, it's something similar to loot boxes. It was never intrusive. To be frank, I didn't even realize that the game has a shop until way later in the game. The beauty part is that you can acquire everything you can find in the shop with in-game currency, at least at the moment. and it's not even hard to acquire. It may take some time, but to be honest, it's kinda fun to grind and fight in this game. I can't believe myself for saying this, but I only have words of praise for this wonderful piece of computer programming, and this system felt to me like a way to support the devs more than anything else. Well, that formula and equation only holds true if you play this game as a single player, story-driven RPG. If you are actually looking past that and want to invest yourself to reach the highest points of challenge and growth for your characters, the formula changes quite drastically. And in some ways, you are kinda forced to spend money. I even heard a case where someone spent $5,000 and not even come close to unlocking everything. Far from it actually. So depending on what you are looking to get out of this game, the formula changes. If you want to unlock the highest challenges the game can throw at you, you'll be time gated and kind of forced to spend money to overcome that. So the biggest downside of the game is the late game, where you finished all quests and that hunger for wanderlust dissipates, being replaced by the hunger of clearing end content, which is time gated and in some ways content locked behind a paywall. I would say that your view on the game and the enjoyment you'll get out of it will be based solely on what you are looking for in games like this. For the purposes of this video, I spent zero money on the game, and at the time of writing my account looks like this. You definitely can gain quite a lot of progression even without paying a buck. The game is a beautiful amalgamation of different systems that when come together create a seamless experience. The scenery reminds me of a beautiful watercolor painting. The combat is a fun and fluid experience, and the progression to get to the highest levels of power is addicting. Considering that the game is free, there is nothing holding you back to try it. So if you liked what you saw, give it a try. Until next time, stay safe.